You know, I don't know about you, but we sure spent a lot of time with one another. And over these past 9 months, we learned from a range of heavy hitters, such as Phyllis Campbell, who's the Pacific Northwest chairman at JP Morgan Chase, all the way to Norm Rice, former mayor of the city of Seattle, and now CEO and president of the Seattle Foundation. And there were good lessons that we took away from the range of speakers that we had. Remember Dennis Hayes, president of the Bullitt Foundation? He said 3 very impactful things. He said that leadership is about optimism, it's about being confident, and it's about being authentic. Nick Metz, Assistant Chief for the Seattle Police Department, our first lab team, Table 6, interviewed him. And at his level, they no longer wear uniforms to work. He wears plain clothes, he wears suits. You see him on TV all the time. But Nick chooses not to. And he said, I always wear my uniform to let my people know that I remember where I came from. Dr. Maxine Hayes, State Health Officer for Washington State, loved her to death. It's a firecracker about this tall. I can't say that very often. About that tall. She spoke about the root causes of disease, and she said 2 things that I'll never forget. The first thing was, high fructose syrup will kill us. The second thing was, sugar, fat, and salt will eventually kill us all. So you have the second thoughts about that big cake you just ate? I didn't eat it. And what about Scott Oakey? Ooh, controversial. Yeah, where's Brian? His blood pressure's probably going up right now. But you know what? Scott said something very interesting. He really moved me when he said this, besides moving other people's blood pressure. He said, A people hire A+ people. B people hire C people. And it's amazing what happens when you let talent drive the success of your organization as opposed to fear. Now I could go on and on about the speakers, but let's talk about this class. So let me throw out 3 facts. The first one, during the application and interview process, we were the highest scoring class ever. Number 2, we were the most diverse group ever. 36% of the people in the class were minorities. Number 3, the age range of the class went from 26 to 52 years old. So that means that there were 3 generations of leaders operating together. So we had the baby boomers, we had the Gen X, and we had the weird group, Gen Y. Just kidding. So I'd like to talk about a few of these folks. The first one, did you know that Katya Matanovich from the Pomegranate Center, she's sitting right there, she co-founded a nonprofit called One by One. And their goal is to eliminate obstetric fistula worldwide. And so some of you are probably thinking, what is that? And I'm going to tell you. It is a devastating childbirth industry that affects women in the developing world. And she started off with $30. And over a year, she raised over $100,000 for this cause. Amazing. 5 years later, they raised over $500,000 every year for this organization. It's brilliant. Damopoulos. Whoa, hard last name to pronounce. I can barely say my last name, yet alone pronounce his. Where is he? Tolis. So Tolis has a degree in engineering. He has an MBA. He has a law degree. He was a Navy JAG. And now he owns his own law firm practice. Total underachiever. A.P. Heard, right here, from the Touchstone Corporation. She just wrote a book called Restructure, Policy and Practices to Cool Our Planet, and is this close to having this thing published. Aaron King from Amazon.com. Aaron, maybe you and Tolis need to talk after this. Aaron, you need to hook her up. But Aaron is a board member or volunteer for 5 different organizations. And it's amazing how Aaron has the time to take on these things. It's absolutely amazing. And what about Jeff Spector from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, sitting right here at table 10 in front of us? Brilliant. Did you know that he dated Jennifer Lopez's sister? All the ladies are like, "Ooh, who's Jack? Who's Jack? Who's Jack?" You come see me after, I'll give you his phone number, I got it. And what about Scott Schiebler from the Cancer Research and Biostatistics? He was John Rodriguez's roommate on the first retreat, because we were all paired up. Scott decided to get a single room on the second retreat. John, I love you, man. But Scott woke up in his single room only to find Shamari Jones sleeping in the bed next to him. We are tight, aren't we? But the best leadership story came about on our second retreat. It's because we convinced DJ Bobby Vegas at the world-famous Silverdale Hotel Bar to keep playing past his curfew of 12:30. And we got him to play until 1:30 a.m. Now, if that isn't leadership, I don't know what is. Jan's so proud of us. But the color of our skin might help us achieve the statistic of being the most diverse group. But it's really about the diversity of all these stories that color our group tonight. You know, LT is a very funny thing. And it's sort of like this big burrito with a lot of stuff in it. And I gotta qualify that, because I can just read the headlines, LT equals big burrito, and the donations going down the tubes, right? So I'm gonna qualify this. But it's really deceiving, because you think you know what's in it, but you really have no clue until you're done. For instance, Jan's like, this better be a damn good for instance. But when you think about the learning of leadership in LT, it isn't as it may seem. Yes, we had some of the most noteworthy speakers ever. Yes, we've read books and articles on leadership. Yes, we watched videos and heard testimonies on leadership. You think that all these things were the most important lessons in leadership, but they weren't. These were just the vehicles that allowed to get from point A to point B. I'm going to share with you a Chinese proverb, and being that I'm Asian, I thought I'd throw it out there to the class. It goes something like this. Tell me a story, and I will forget. Show me, and I might remember. Involve me, and I will understand. LT is so good at this because the entire program revolves around this idea. You know, I've been practicing architecture now for about 18 years. And ever since I was about 12, I knew that this was what I was going to do for the rest of my life. And what I absolutely love about my job is the idea of involving others. I am constantly surrounded by people who are a hell of a lot smarter than me. And we create a really safe environment that allows them to feel comfortable in sharing their design ideas. And it's amazing to see what happens when you create this environment. I love the new ideas that surface. And more importantly, I love it when someone comes up with a better idea than I do. And maybe the power of LT is just that. A safe environment that welcomes ideas from 80 inspiring up-and-coming leaders in our region, except LT does it better. They don't put 80 architects in one room, thank God. And what you learn over the next 9 months is to pause and take note from one another. You learn that if you are an expert in a certain field of discussion, you hold your thoughts and you listen for a moment to someone who might be from another generation and another industry that has nothing to do with yours. And this individual teaches you something new. And that something new is usually a lesson about yourself and your current way of thinking. And along the way, these things allow us to connect. And once you connect, you build trust. And once you build trust, then and only then can you start to lead. Together, over the past 9 months, we have been given this very gift. And unfortunately, gifts like this can be forgotten about. They get lost in our daily lives. We're too busy. But it's really up to us to decide what to do with this gift. Maybe we can take this back to our corporations to make an impact. Maybe we can implement this in our public sectors or our nonprofits or our communities. Or maybe we just don't know what to do with this yet. But let me leave you with this, and it's another Chinese proverb. Be not afraid of growing slowly, be only afraid of standing still. And on behalf of our entire LT class, I'd like to thank all of you for allowing us to participate in this incredible organization.